You're watching ABC 7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Topping our news, a man has been arrested in connection with a series of suspicious packages sent to prominent critics of President Donald Trump and CNN this week.
Suspect arrested at an auto parts store in South Florida. ABC's Maggie Rulli's at the site of one of those packages was found in New York. Maggie, what's the latest from there?
In connection to those attempted bombings, but they cautioned that the threat is still not over, and they warned post offices across the country, like this one here in New York City that received one of those packages just this morning, to remain on high alert. Authorities confirm this man, Cesar Sayoc, is now in custody in connection with at least a dozen possible explosive devices sent through the mail.
We will not tolerate such lawlessness, especially not political violence.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Director of the FBI Christopher Wray, part of a high-profile press conference praising the nationwide manhunt to find this attempted bomber.
A threat of this scope and of this magnitude requires all of us working shoulder to shoulder. And today's arrest is a testament to the strength of our partnerships and what we can do when we all work together.
The 56-year-old has a lengthy criminal history with at least 8 arrests in Florida alone. He's now suspected of targeting people who are critical of President Trump. The president, who earlier tweeted that this, quote, bomb stuff was hurting Republicans before midterms, now calling it despicable.
We must never allow political violence to take root in America.
Today, more packages were discovered even after Sayoc was taken into custody. Authorities warn even though someone is in custody, the threat remains.
Today's arrest doesn't mean we're all out of the woods. There may be other packages in transit now.
Court documents reveal investigators found Sayoc through fingerprints on the packages and items inside. They also say that some of the packages had photos of the intended targets with red circle slashes on their faces. The Department of Justice says they believe to have found a social media account belonging to the suspect. They say it was full of right-wing content and aggressive attacks on liberals, including mentioning some of the names of people who received packages with the words, "See you soon." New York City, Maggie Bruley, ABC News. Back to you.
Well, suspicious packages are now showing up on the Suncoast. A Northport bank is back open this afternoon following a suspicious envelope scare. Northport police were called to the Bank of America on Tamiami Trail after that envelope, which said bomb on it, was dropped off around 10 o'clock this morning. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office bomb squad used a bomb-sniffing dog and a robot to dispose of the envelope. It ended up being nothing dangerous, but police say they are not taking situations like this lightly, especially with those recent packages sent to politicians.
I think obviously it's heightened because of everything that's been going on, but I think we would have probably handled it the exact same way despite everything that's been going on around the country. I mean, anytime you come into a bank and have something with the word bomb written on it, it's a concern.
While our crews were on the scene, the man who dropped off that letter returned and then tried to explain himself to police. He claimed he wanted the bank to fax some information about explosions to federal authorities. Police say it appears there was no ill intent and currently no charges are being filed.
New developments tonight in a 2001 murder of an Englewood woman. Charlotte County Sheriff's investigators say the body of 32-year-old Victoria Arena was found in a wooded area in Punta Gorda in June of 2001. Her throat had been slashed. The cause of death was ruled a homicide. Detectives say Curtis Webb from Sarasota, Arena's ex-boyfriend, was identified as a potential suspect. However, detectives say they couldn't convict him due to a lack of evidence in the natural deaths of several key witnesses. Webb spent 15 years in a Tennessee prison after being convicted of home invasion robbery in 2002. He died from an illness after being released from prison this past January. Investigators, though, say they now have probable cause to charge him with Arena's murder. They believe he would have been convicted if the critical witnesses were still alive to testify.
Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. And Bob, Football Friday night, how's it look for us tonight?
Pretty good. You're looking for some fall weather, too. We're going to get it. Not so much tonight, but over the weekend. Sweaters and jackets for early tea times on Sunday morning. It looks like upper 50s to low 60s. A little bit of a breeze, so that won't be a big factor. But for tonight, we may see a few brief showers around. We're not anticipating anything too rough. There's no lightning really with these other showers that are developing. We had a little bit of rain with the prefrontal trough this afternoon. We had a few showers even this morning around. And we're starting to see a little sunshine out there, but there's another thin line of showers developing offshore, which will move onshore through this evening. And as far as that goes, you can see we've got that line right there. That's the prefrontal trough. Still a few showers down near Placida and near Rotunda. We had a little bit of light rainfall earlier into Bradenton. That has since moved well to the east. There's that thin line I mentioned. You can see it right there stretching off into the Gulf of Mexico. That continues to head off to the east and southeast, and we will look for the possibility of that front moving on through tonight. So don't be too surprised by a brief shower or two, not a lot. But then the cooler weather filters in. We're looking for much cooler conditions to settle in our area. Looks like throughout the day on Saturday, but more so you'll feel a nice, very fall-like day on Sunday as that cooler air will be in place by then. There's that light rain I mentioned near Punta Gorda Beach, near Rotunda, also near Northport now. Getting a little bit of light rain. It'll move through pretty quickly here, so that should not be a big factor for tonight's event down there. And as I mentioned, that little light rain still out there in the Gulf of Mexico with the actual front itself. Well, much more on our weather headlines, which is calling for a current advisory, rip current advisory in effect for area beaches, clearing and cooler for the weekend. The next cold front, and that one will be a strong one, and it'll bring us much more rain next Friday. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Tonight, we're finding out exactly how many of your tax dollars are still being used to pay for software problems at the Manatee County School District. While that number continues to rise, the school board chair assures ABC7 the district is closer to a fix now than ever before. ABC7's Taylor Torregano has more on the massive software failure.
These flashing lights in the district's computer room are no indication of the system's catastrophic failure.
Think about you not knowing what's in your bank account and trying to figure out, where you can spend money. Can you pay the electric bill? Can you pay rent?
But instead of rent, it's paying the teachers.
That's the biggest problem. Of all the areas where you should not mess up, it's in paying your employees and paying them correctly.
Problems with payroll to managing $160 million in construction costs and everything in between.
We couldn't even release toilet paper from the warehouse and get it delivered to schools for the opening of school.
But those are only some of the problems caused by the software that was incorrectly installed.
An organization of our type probably only needed 4 or 5 modules of PeopleSoft. And somehow over the years, we ended up with about 28 different modules. So it was made very, very complex.
So far, the district has paid a company named Cyber more than $20 million to install this program.
All the other money's gone into actually creating the problem.
At the same time, the school board voted just this week to pay Cyber another $195,000 to uninstall parts of the program.
When you talk about creating the problem, you're talking about writing computer code, long strings of computer programming. And it's far more effective to use the people who have the experience in what they wrote and how they wrote it to work on cleaning it up.
Even though they are the ones who created it?
It is a time-limited agreement.
Meaning now, Cyber won't be paid by the hour, but by the amount of actual fixing they do.
That was ABC7's Taylor Torregano reporting. This week, the board also approved a $65,000 contract with a new administrator to oversee this project's completion. Dr. Hopes says he's not sure when that will be, but can promise it will be sooner rather than later.
A landmark opioid bill was signed into law this week by President Trump, an effort to tackle the nation's opioid epidemic. There are 5 major provisions to this law. First, there will be a grant program to help expand the use of recovery centers nationwide. There will also be a focus to stop shipments of fentanyl and other drugs from entering the country. It lifts the restrictions for drugs that will help wean people off an addiction and provides more research for non-addictive pain medications. It also changes Medicare and Medicaid regulations, expanding coverage for opioid treatment. Executives at First Step Sarasota say how the state implements the bill will have a lot to do with its effectiveness.
I think we need to keep in mind that, yes, we are addressing the opiate epidemic, but we need to be stepping back and looking at the disease of addiction and recognizing that it's not just, right now, the drug of choice is opiates. But we're also seeing a spike in the amount of cocaine use that's going up.
Each state, including Florida, has to enact this bill. Brooks says even though it's been signed, it'll take some time for it to have an impact here.
Governor Rick Scott getting back on the campaign trail after spending more than 2 weeks dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. Despite being involved in a tight race with U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, Scott has spent most of his time in the Panhandle counties damaged by that storm. Scott continues to say his decision to focus on storm recovery efforts was not political and was part of his job. However, he plans to start campaigning again this weekend. He'll also appear alongside President Trump at a political rally in Fort Myers next week.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, how Sarasota County fire officials helped with storm recovery efforts in the Florida Panhandle.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, could a germ-free childhood trigger leukemia? We'll have more on those stories straight ahead.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gattle's got it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Civics on sale is now. During our model year-end sale, try new Civics for just $169 a month. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. And now get Civic, a KBB.com's best buy of the year for less than the competition. New Civics just $169 a month. Your last chance for Civics, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically, and I don't know what we would have done without that.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
Sarasota County firefighters are back on the Suncoast after helping out with the devastation from Hurricane Michael in the Florida Panhandle. 60 people with the department have been deployed to the Panhandle over a 16-day period. They helped transport victims to hospitals and to shelters. There are still 4 at the State Emergency Operations Center, but the department does not plan on deploying any more teams to the area right now. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from a firefighter as he talks about his experience in the Florida Panhandle. sure they have quite the stories to tell, seeing all that devastation.
Looks terrible there. You know, we have just a month and a few days left before the official end. The good news is that there's a lot of fronts. We're in a progressive autumnal pattern now. We're going to see fronts coming down every so often. And if a storm were to develop, it would get carried away rather quickly. So it's not going to be a big storm even if it were to develop. There's one developing out in the Atlantic. Oscar looks like it could become. Holmes Beach showing the high surf around. That's a cold front. That's the one that's moving through. And that has kicked up the surf there and even brought a few brief showers to the lens. You can see right there on Holmes Beach. And then another line of showers developing off in the Gulf. A rip current advisory in effect for coastal waters, so be careful. I know a lot of surfers like to get out there and do some surfing when we get these fronts moving on through. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit shaky as far as that goes through this evening. And then again, tomorrow morning, there'll still be some high surf. 70 right now, the dew point temperature. The front is still back to the northwest of us. We're going to see these temperatures drop. It's already down to 66 in Orlando, the dew point temperature that is. And as far as lows go, to start things off on Saturday morning, it'll still be rather warm. We'll see temperatures into the low 70s for the most part, upper 60s in Orlando. And then highs tomorrow will warm into the upper 70s, right around 79 degrees. So it'll be nice, though. It'll be dry, comfortable air. Sunday morning will be the coolest, Sunday morning and Monday. We're talking low 60s, even some upper 50s. Inland areas, 58 degrees in Orlando. Will warm up on Sunday around 78 degrees. So it should be a delightful weekend. We deserve it after all the tough, warm, hot weekends we had over the past summer and throughout most of fall. Winds will be out of the west and northwest throughout the day tomorrow, and it'll be less too. It's pretty breezy right now. We'll see those winds calm down just a little bit, 10 to 15 miles an hour tomorrow afternoon. And then looks like northerly winds on Sunday and Sunday morning. That will allow that temperature to drop into the upper 50s in some areas along the Sun Coast, low 60s to mid 60s near the area beaches. Titan radar picture showing that first line of showers that brought us just a little bit of rainfall, now clearing the area. Another line is developing off in the Gulf, and that's the actual cold front. Not a lot of heavy weather, but there's some moderate rainfall there. And some showers now into Charlotte County. The rain that moved through Northport is pretty much over for right now. You could see another brief shower over the next couple of hours or so. But we are forecasting temperatures into the mid-70s. Looks to be pretty good for football Friday night. No problem with any kind of thunderstorms at this point. Tomorrow's high temperatures will be below average. Our average high for this time of year, right around 83 degrees, will be into the upper 70s. We'll have a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. No real threat of any significant rainfall. You can see the Futurecast showing some clouds occasionally moving in on Saturday. Not a lot, and this model is depicting some rainfall, but I doubt we see any rain at all across the Sun Coast. If we see any, it will be a brief shower, and that'll be mainly to our north. I mentioned that system out in the Atlantic. Well, here it is. This is a tropical disturbance now, and the Hurricane Center is monitoring it. You can see some of the forecast path and tracks. This looks rather ominous, moving more to the west, but then a cold front catches it and moves it back off to the north. So this one's going to stay out there. It's not going to be a big issue for us. As far as the progressive autumnal pattern, well, we continue to see these fronts move through, and we will do so next weekend. In fact, on Friday, we will see another front move through, and that will bring us a better chance for rain next weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that. For boaters tomorrow, winds still a bit brisk out there. We'll have northwest winds at 15 knots, and seas will be running 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. The forecast for the next 7 days, 79 for your high tomorrow, 78 on Sunday. Nice start, though. 10 degrees cooler on Sunday morning, 58 into the coast, even coastal locations. Lots of sunshine there. Wednesday looks good for Halloween and the trick-or-treaters, albeit a bit on the warmer side. And then the chance for rain comes next Friday. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. Now to First Alert Traffic. Check out US 41 in Bradenton. Backed up a little bit at this hour, heading both north and south, right there at the intersection with State Road 70. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, a new study suggests germ-free childhoods followed by infections later in life can trigger the onset of childhood leukemia. The Institute of Cancer Research found that acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the most common type of childhood cancer, is caused by a two-step process. The first step is a genetic mutation before birth. The second is exposure to certain infections later in childhood. Researchers say kids who grew up in cleaner households during their first year and interacted less with other children are more likely to develop leukemia. A new report shows dozens of common breakfast cereals and snack bars have trace amounts of a controversial herbicide found in the weed killer Roundup. The Environmental Working Group found that 26 of the 28 products it tested had levels of Roundup's main ingredient, glyphosate, that were higher than what scientists consider safe. The report says the majority of foods tested, such as Honey Nut Cheerios and Quaker Simply granola oats, have glyphosate levels that might pose a cancer risk with long-term consumption. Coming up, new video from inside the Trump Hotel when a man opened fire in the lobby. And a dramatic rescue, all caught on camera, how a police officer saved 2 women from a burning car.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Enjoy fine wine and great foods, all while supporting a great cause. It's the 17th annual Suncoast Food and Wine Fest, happening Saturday, November 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample great food from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds go to local charities and Rotary projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Newly released surveillance video showing a new view of a resort rampage at a Trump hotel in South Florida. At Trump National Doral back in May, a man rushed the hotel lobby with a gun in his hand. He's identified as 42-year-old former porn star Jonathan Adi. Video from inside the resort shows the gunman draping a massive U.S. flag over the front desk, then grabs a metal object and slams into the computer monitors where guests check in. Miami-Dade police arrive moments later, and that's when gunfire breaks out. He was later seen surrendering for being placed in handcuffs.
A dramatic rescue from a burning car, all caught on a New Jersey police officer's body camera. North Brunswick police officer Anthony Torres came upon a car accident yesterday out on patrol. Officer Torres quickly jumps into action along with bystanders. They were able to pull both women out of the burning car moments before it went up in flames.
I immediately knew that I had to take control, and then I'm just glad everyone stayed there and assisted me, because I think without their help, this outcome would have never came.
Charred tree, broken fence, and pieces left of the car stand as a reminder that this could have had a much different outcome if it wasn't for the quick thinking of Officer Torres and those bystanders.
An Indiana man is back with his cat, Julie, after she ran away 6 years ago. Jonathan Gullah was home from college back in 2012, having been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Somehow the cat got out of the house and never came back. His family put up flyers around the neighborhood, but she never turned up. Well, someone across town recently found a cat and posted a picture on a site for lost and found pets. Jonathan went over to the home and was thrilled to find Julie. Still a mystery at this point where the cat has been all these years, but all that matters is she's home living with Gullah, who is now married and cancer-free.
Wow.
Where's she been?
I know. Could you imagine all the things she has seen and done?
Yeah.
Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, why a Manatee County bus driver is being honored for a heroic act while on duty.
Plus, how one Suncoast Elementary teacher is making a positive impact in the lives of her students.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
For the best car buying experience, go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota, where you always get better prices and a bigger selection, like the lowest prices and largest selection of American-made muscle. Right now, get the forever furious Dodge Challenger SXT, or get best-in-class highway driving range and all the horsepower you can handle in a new Dodge Charger SXT. Your choice, just $23,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I used to dread getting up and going to work.
I was done with the corporate grind.
I was tired of being a starving artist.
And I started looking around for a business that I believed in, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green.
My SCORE mentor helped me take the first step.
He helped me create a business plan and helped me implement it.
They've really taught me how to think big.
SCORE helped me to make the unimaginable possible, all for free. I'm here because of SCORE.
I'm here because of SCORE.
Get your free business mentor at SCORE.org.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Well, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.